American Soul, BET Season 2, Episode 7, Love Will Keep Us Together. Soul Train line, dance segment, Earth, Wind, Fire, playing in the background, Shining Star. Don Cornelius and the business partner Brooks are ready for this particular meeting, and it's a secretary that Don flirts with. Said that she saw him before at the Soul Train Club, but he was not, I guess, didn't talk to her or whatever. And he said, next time, I try to be slower next time so I can, flirting, flirting around. Don starts having the weird blackouts again, and he says that before he goes to the meeting, he gets into the meeting office and he says he's got to go to the bathroom, and he stares in the mirror, splashing water on his face, and the next thing you know, he blacks out. He missed the meeting. Don's back home, and he's doing narcotic drugs again. Brooks is pissed about the mess up and the meeting, and Don is saying that he's having these strange migraines. Don't know why, but he's just trying to hang in there. Asked Brooks if he want to do some stuff with him. He's like, no. And he said that he's going to reschedule the meeting, tell him to get some rest. JT is pissed about not giving a heads up about the drop with the money. It seems that Gerald, he wants to challenge Gerald, and they go outside, and basically that he's ready to do something in music. He said that he couldn't tell JT because he didn't want JT to drop the ball or mess everything up. So he didn't let him know what was going on, and that Ruby's locked up, and now he's ready to do music and get in the music business more. And JT said, what are we going to do about the club? He said, I'm going to let you run the club. JT goes back to the apartment. Simone is singing and cooking in his apartment. They have a good chemistry thing going. They seem like they're getting back together again more so. Brooks talks to Tessa. It seems that Brooks is not sure about his business arrangement partnership with Don. Don is off the hinges. He's doing drugs, etc. He said, well, that's typical Hollywood. Then it was weird. He asked Tessa, can he touch her afro? She said, at least you tried to ask me. He was smoking a cigarette, offered her a cigarette. And she smoked a cigarette with him. Seems they got some strange chemistry thing going on, and like they might hook up or something. But anyway, Gerald looks like he is about to get him a suit. He's walking down the street. Somebody bumps into him and stabs him with a hairpin, and it's Ruby. She's not in jail. Oh, man. She's not locked up. Then there's a past memory sequence that Ruby and him were messing around way back in the day when he was in the military. And then it goes back to the recent sequence of him in the hospital. He stabbed in the lung area where he had an injury before while he was in the army, and they were saying they were worried about him. If he has any more sustained wounds in that area, it could kill him. So they want to make sure that they got everything taken care of in the hospital. And he's talking to his army cop buddy, telling him that if he breaks the law, that he will arrest him too. Don is messing with the secretary that he met in the meeting where he collapsed at in the bathroom and blacked out, woke up. Don's son calls him from Chicago. Something about the neighbor was bothering one of his little brother. Don gets on a plane to Chicago, hightails it to Chicago, goes to the neighbor's house. The guy opens the door, and Don severely beat him up. Like, whoa, boy. His wife and his sons are outside. One of his sons, his younger son, has the black eye, and she tells him to go back in the house. Don and his wife, they argue back and forth about him not being there for the children. He said, well, I'm giving you money and everything. You gave up on the marriage. He said, you never around. He said, I'm too busy making Soul Train. That's what I'm doing. And they go back and forth. She said, you and that Soul Train. Soul Train, Soul Train. His oldest son, Tony, says it was his fault. He's the one that called. It's his responsibility. He goes into the basement. Don goes there and talks to him. And basically, he said, when you going to get a divorce from your mom, from mama? And they go back and forth. He said, you the man in charge while I'm not here. And listen to your mother. Brooks has a meeting with some people that I guess they want him to leave Don, and he doesn't. He leaves the meeting. Don is taking time with his sons, trying to bond with them, and he said that he wanted his sons to go live with him in L.A., and then his oldest son, Tony, said no, because who's going to take care of mom, told his little brother. He said, no, you're right, you need to be with your mother. Don tells him, and then he gets ready to leave to go back to L.A. JT and Simone are test driving Gerald's car, and all of a sudden a car approaches them far off, and it's Ruby, and she's shooting right at JT and them. And he tells them to get down, tells Simone to get down in the car while she's shooting at them, and Simone is shook up. She's like, "Who is she? And why do you have a gun, JT?" Because JT pulled out his gun from the glove compartment and, or I guess Gerald's gun, and shot back at them, at the Ruby. And Ruby just drove off. It in. She didn't get shot or nothing. JT tells Simone about that they need to get back home, get her back home. She's all hysterical. JT goes to Gerald and he is pissed that his girl could have been killed because of him. And he was driving Gerald's fancy car on. Gerald said, "Relax, she just thought it was me." He said, "No, she looked right dead at me and saw it was me and pointed the gun and was firing the gun at me." So JT's like, he's kind of like done with the whole thing. He's like, "I'm walking home." He said, "You want the limo?" He's like, "No, I don't want the limo. I think I'll be better by myself walking." And Gerald asked one of his guys to make sure JT gets home safe, and then he realized that, hey, might be coming out the dawn. So Don gets back from his house, from this flight from Chicago, get back home, and Ruby chloroforms him. He blacks out. She wants him to sign over Soul Train to her, apparently, some kind of crazy thing that she wants him to sign over, and he's getting ready to attack her, and he falls out and collapses. And she sees somebody in the outside, because she basically wanted to make it look like he shot himself, signed over some kind of suicide note or something, and basically made him look like he's crazy because he's on drugs and he's messing with a lot of hookers and fast women. So, but then he didn't do it, and he collapsed, and she sees somebody outside, and then she starts firing a gun, and Gerald somehow gets into the house, and Don's like, "I'm tired of this mess. I'm tired." Don and Gerald talk about Ruby, how he met Ruby. They became, while he was in the military, they became business partners in crime, and they got a high off robbing and stealing and doing all kind of criminal activities. But he said Ruby is just ruthless and she has no scruples. And Don wants to go to the cops because she's dangerous. Gerald, but meanwhile, before that, JT and Simone, he tells her to get away from him, because he doesn't want to put her life in danger. She doesn't want to leave, but she decides to. There's a loud noise outside of the Soul Train Club, and it sounded like a bomb went off. Some bombs went off, and then they go outside. There's several cars on fire, and it goes off. And that's it for this episode. Till the next time, if you like this video, please hit the like icon and subscribe to Mujahid72. Everybody take care, peace, and have a nice day. Thank you.